second episode of the Research Cafe series, the series designed to inspire young researchers, scientists, and anyone curious about the scientific world. In this series, we share the personal and academic journeys of knowledgeable researchers, and through their stories, we learn from their experiences, challenges, and triumphs, all while gaining valuable insights into the world of scientific research. I am your host, Aisha Nasir, and you are listening to the Research Cafe series, a live podcast initiative by the Innovation and Ideation Club, brought to you by CleMed Research Solutions. Welcome, Ajit sir, and thank you for joining us today. In this episode, we will start off by getting to know our guest, Deepti Avaru ma'am. We will then explore her professional journey and hopefully learn from her experiences. Towards the end of this discussion, we will have a question and answer session too, so please stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's welcome Deepti Avaru ma'am. Deepti ma'am is a research scholar. She is currently working on an ICMR funded antimicrobial stewardship project program at Kasturba Medical College, Manipal. Ma'am is a doctor of pharmacy, having graduated from KLE College of Pharmacy, Karnataka, and has worked as an assistant professor at KLE College of Pharmacy. Ma'am has also received Ratan Tata Scholarship under Merit List 3 times. Ma'am's research papers have been published in noted journals like Archives the Pediatric, Bentham Science, Journals of Young Pharmacists, and Future Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Ma'am is currently working on a study to implement antimicrobial stewardship program in tertiary care centers across India. Once again, we welcome Deepti ma'am to CleMed's Research Cafe series.
Hello.
Yes, hi ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for the beautiful introduction.
Thank
I'm
you,
happy
ma'am.
to join you all for today's session. Thank you.
Before we begin, ma'am, I'd just like to say that you've been invited as a guest on this episode because you are an inspiration for all of us. And I say inspiration because you are quite literally paving the way for all PharmD graduates. And by joining us on this episode, you're also showing the way to so many pharmacy students.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
I'm honored to be having this conversation with you. And I'm sure our audience is just as excited to be a part of this conversation.
Yes.
Should we begin with the questions?
Yes, yes.
So let's start this conversation off, ma'am, by getting to know you a little better.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share about yourself?
Yeah, so basically I'm a PharmD graduate. I have just started my career. After my internship, during my internship itself, I have uploaded my CV for various institutes for teaching as well as applied for 2-3 research projects. So then my journey began with academics into teaching, and now I'm currently working into research as research associate at KMC.
Okay, ma'am. So back when you were a student, did
Yeah.
you aspire to be a research scholar?
Uh, from my fourth year itself, I was very passionate towards research and had a strong desire and focus towards research. But I started it slowly, like small steps, writing case reports, case series. And coming to my fifth year, we are exposed to a project. We are supposed to do a project for 6 months. So we'll get an in-depth overview how a research goes on, and it gives you a lot of insights what you are supposed to be doing into a research field. So that attracted me a lot, and always I wanted to pursue my PhD either into teaching, being a part-time, or doing my research project.
Mm-hmm. So when
Yes.
you were teaching as an assistant professor after your studies, was it part-time or was it full-time?
No, I haven't joined my PhD, so it was full-time assistant
Mm.
professor I was working for,
Okay.
but I was in the plan of joining for PhD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so when you were working on research works projects during college, did
Yeah.
what skills or qualities did you feel like were necessary, or for us, like what should we possess?
Yeah, definitely reading literature review. I would
Mm-hmm.
start with the basics. First, you have
Okay.
to go with a lot of literature review, which helps you to find the area of interest or research gaps. Then you can be skilled or have little bit knowledge about writing. Then the documentation. You will also learn about making the data collection forms, and it will be always a team project, right? I don't know about other colleges, but in my college we are supposed to do it as a team project. So how do you collaborate or work in a team? All that matters. Yeah.
So how do we approach the lecturers when we want to start our research works?
In my college, we were divided into teams and
Mm.
then we were already given the topics. So we were asked to work on those topics. Other than that, they will also encourage if you have specific topics, area of interest. So always be honest with work ethics.
Mm-hmm.
That will help you a lot. And just be approaching towards your guides or mentors. Seek their guidance and seek their help. It will help a lot. It may not always be taken, but sometimes you will gain what is the drawback or what are the limitations for that study. Sometimes the feasibility is not possible. It may not be possible in that particular sector, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You've seen both the aspects. So you've been a student and you've also been the lecturer or the professor.
Yeah.
So how was your experience working as an assistant professor and in academia? Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, actually, I love teaching, and
Mm-hmm.
teaching doesn't always come with just the taking classes, right? It comes with the administrative task, and then the research comes into academic research. It comes the last, I feel. First, the teaching or the taking classes, then the administrative task, and then the research. So, you will not be given lot of time towards your research works rather than administrative work and teaching. But personally, I love teaching. So I love to interact with students or taking classes. So I thoroughly enjoy it. And you get to update your knowledge on daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you enjoyed teaching,
Yes.
and but you still decided to make the transition into research.
Yes,
What
because I
what
can
was
give lot of time towards my research when I shift
okay?
to only research oriented role.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It
Yes, ma'am.
comes with lot of challenges and adjustment, of course, but later on you will enjoy and it is rewarding. It's worth taking a only research oriented role if you are interested or having passionate towards research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when did you discover this ICMR antimicrobial stewardship program while you were working as an assistant professor?
Actually, it is before that. During my
Okay.
internship itself, I had applied for this role. But yeah, it was time taking process. But later on, I got the opportunity. So
Mhm.
I shifted over it.
Can you tell us a little bit about the program and how you got selected, how it's carried out? Just a little bit more about
Yeah,
it.
so I used to browse a lot for the opportunities and to see the job roles and towards research and teaching specifically. So I used to go through the institute websites and open the job roles open for any particular research field. So I've come across this research associate. So basically, this was open for 3 years of experience and one research paper. The
Mhm.
job demands 3 years of experience and one research paper as a qualification along with PharmD. But then I just wanted to give a try because what I consider is it's not about the experience, it's about the skill set what you develop. Sometimes a 3 years experience candidate may not have enough research skills as a fresher. So I just thought it in that way and I just sent my CV. I got shortlisted. Then I read actually the title. It is antimicrobial stewardship, and then I have to prepare for my interview, right? So basically starting from infections, the antibiotics, the microorganisms, the microbiology. So I had overview of all the things and how this program was started, everything, and where all this program has been initiated and what is the status of this project. Then I appeared for an interview I got selected.
Okay, so basically just try, and even if you are unsure, go for it.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little about the project that you're working on right now on implementing antimicrobial stewardship across the tertiary care centers in India?
Yes, sure. So it's a ICMR funded project.
Mm-hmm.
So in view of rising resistant, antimicrobial resistant, this program has been started, stewardship. And to implement this, they have selected around 17 to 18 centers across the India, CMC, Vellore, etc. Other centers. Even in Pondicherry, there is center, Delhi AIMS. So in all these centers, they have started with phase 1, then phase 2, and now currently I'm working for phase 3, which is of 3 years. The phase 1 and 2 is of 1 year each, and they usually looked for an opportunity how this program can be implemented, what will be the challenges or limitations, how they can expect the change over years in resistant pattern, and how they can make a judicious practice of antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
So this is phase 3, and we have almost completed 1.5 year almost, and it's a multidisciplinary teamwork. Along with me, I'm working as clinical pharmacologist as well as research associate for this project. So along with me, there will be nurses, research nurses, and data entry operators to maintain the data, and lab technicians as well to see the culture samples, etc.
Mm-hmm. And uh, you you are a part of the ICMR program, but
Yeah.
you're a research associate at KMC Manipal, right? So how are they related? So did you select the college, or does ICMR allot a
No, I have
college?
applied through the college portal itself, no, to the institute portal. So I'm a
Okay,
research associate from KMC working under ICMR project. Yeah.
okay. So you applied through KMC
Yes.
Manipal.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little about that? Because it's still a bit confusing. Like how does that work?
No,
So
there
you
was an advertisement in the college portal itself for ICMR funded project. They are looking for a research associate, and so
okay,
is the title. So I just sent my CV and I got selected. Yeah.
okay. So there was an advertisement on the KMC portal.
Yes.
Okay. But
Manipal
so
portal, Mahe portal.
okay.
Yeah.
So were you associated with Manipal prior to that, or was it you just came
Never,
across?
never been.
Okay.
But
And
I had attended a conference during my farm day. So I really like the infrastructure, the way they look over the research oriented projects. And it's also a top leading college in research,
mm,
good ranking college. So I always had it in my back of my mind that I wanted to pursue my PhD or look for an opportunity to get into Manipal. Yeah.
mhm. So as students, we should be on the lookout on college websites, basically.
Yes, basically networking and looking for a better opportunity, always browsing for whether any openings or positions available will help you out. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to what motivates you, ma'am. So, what motivated you to pursue research in your field? How did you decide on the research focus?
No, initially I just joined as a research associate
Mm-hmm.
working for this project. And basically, like a clinical pharmacist, I have to attend many ward rounds and have to look for the appropriateness of the antibiotic therapy, etc. But later on, I really found the research gap that can be addressed. So then I started my PhD also in the same field itself, same area.
Mm-hmm. So, is this a PhD program, ma'am?
No, my PhD is separate. It's a subgroup of this main project.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
you are also working on a PhD.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about
Started
that?
my PhD recently. It's been 6 months.
Yeah.
And coming to my PhD, it is full time for 3 years. And currently, no grants have been approved for my PhD, but we are looking for grants we are trying to apply for grants, and I'm currently paid for my job only. Yeah.
Mhm.
My PhD is also involving antimicrobial stewardship, partially. Yes.
Mhm. How did you apply for this PhD, ma'am? And like, did you have to go write any exams or like the mode of
Yes.
entry?
Mode of entry, it is the same as others have followed. Like there will be institute specific entrance test. So I had to answer that, then followed by an interview, then followed by there will be various sections like you can go through a full-time stipend PMFI scholar for Manipal, or there
Mhm.
is part-time for whoever is into teaching. Then there is like
Mhm.
project fellows. So I fall under project fellow category, which is of
Mhm.
3 years again. So this is
Mhm.
again an advantage coming to teaching and research field, because in teaching I can only opt for part-time PhD, which is 4 or 5 years. But here I'll be given within 3 years, if in case I finish my PhD work. Yeah,
Mhm. So, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
What was the interview process for the PhD?
Interview process for the PhD, they after you clear your exam, they'll call for an interview. It will be group of including the administrative, your guide. I have chosen my PI as a guide itself. I
Mhm.
mean, so it will involve your head of the department and from the institute. Then they'll ask a lot of questions from the basics of the project, from the basics of your PhD topic, and everything it covers. Whether how well you can manage your project as well as PhD both.
Mhm.
They'll try
And
to assess that point mainly.
mhm. So when if we are applying for the ICMR project
Yeah.
program, how can we prepare for the interview?
So yeah, as I said, I have looked for the topic. The title was given in my advertisement pamphlet or something. So it was written clearly, implementation of antimicrobial stewardship program in tertiary care hospital. So it is basically implementing certain program, right? So that is antimicrobial stewardship program. So it involves microorganisms. So we have sound knowledge about microorganisms and microbiology. Then coming to infections, what infections these microorganisms can cause. Then what antibiotics are given to treat them. Then how this program would address all these issues, and what is the need of this program, why they are trying to. So basically for any other title or any other project, you have to look into those literatures, so you'll be able to answer better. So first you need to have basics of all subjects, and then this title specific or project specific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thorough knowledge on what you are planning on researching.
Yes.
And so uh, you're working on that an ICMR project as well as your full-time PhD. So
Yes.
you've worked with people from so many different fields like pharmacy, research, and also experience in academia. So
Yes.
let's talk about working together with others in science. What do you think is the most effective way to make connections and network?
Be humble and kind, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
because you would also interact with the senior most professional to the junior most one. So always be humble and kind and open for any opportunity given to you. And initially, I would never say no to any task given to me. I would always take it up and come up with something, whether it is correct or not. I agree, I'm not a perfectionist, but I aim for doing it perfectly, and people do expect it when you're into a particular role. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your work will define everything, and stay in touch mainly. It's not that once the work is done or once you get the benefit, just avoid. You have to always be in touch, maintain the positive connections that would help you gain more opportunities and professional growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very often, like as a student, a lot of us are interested in research, and but it's hard to convey to our seniors or our professors that we are interested, and so that they can tell us about any opportunities which are coming up. So how do we build that kind of connection? like one-to-one?
Yeah, you have to reflect your interest towards
Okay.
research to your guides or mentors or towards your seniors. So first
Mhm.
start with the basics like writing a case reports as you go for ward rounds. I'm talking in a perspective of PharmD.
Mhm.
So in from fourth year at least you can start, right? I don't
Yes.
expect a second year or a third year student, but a fourth year or fifth year is capable enough of writing a case report, I suppose. So start by small steps, go for corrections, ask their opinions, involve them. Don't just write on your own. Give them for corrections and collaborate with them. So that way you can or show them your area of interest and that you're really into research. And when you get an opportunity into externships in sixth year, according to norms in PharmD sixth year, along with internship, we can opt for externship, right? So
Mhm.
during externship, you can opt for research oriented into any MNC companies or any other writing skills.
Mhm. A lot of us are unaware about externships actually, because most of us just hear about internships,
Yeah.
and people don't look into externships. And you've had experience as a clinical pharmacologist, and it was an externship training program at HCG Cancer Hospital, right? So can
Yes.
you tell us a little about the difference between an internship and an externship and how we can apply for it?
Yeah, so basically, internship is a structured and already specified what you're supposed to do, and you're expected to go hospital, do ward rounds, collect cases, present them, have thorough knowledge about that case. So it basically pushes you towards clinical pharmacist role. But coming to an externship, you can opt for anything based on your area of interest or you're looking for in your future career perspective. So I wanted to be doing my PhD and have thorough knowledge about stewardship, infections and cancers, antibiotics and cancers. So I wanted to get trained into oncology sector. So I had opted for healthcare global cancer group. So again, choosing an externship, just don't go blindly with the seniors' opinions or seniors' path. You can search for your area of interest and then search for an externship opening. And again, I would advise you to do an externship within first 6 months of an internship because later 6 months you can always search for any other opportunities available for interview or for any other job role. So doing an externship for 6 months would actually help you a lot. And many of the colleges would define the period of externship like 2 or 3 months only. You're not allowed to do an 6 months externship program. So look for an opportunity and opening and apply prior before sixth year itself so that you can plan it in your first 6 months and finish it off.
Mhm. So you found out about this externship when you were in fifth year.
Yeah. I had
And
applied it in last 2-3 months of my fifth year.
okay, so
Yeah.
how did you find out about it?
Yeah, through networking, I had so many friends or seniors in the same field itself, clinical pharmacologist. Through my seniors, I got connected to them. Then I had asked for, is it possible to do, or, and after doing it, what will be advantage of it? What will I really gain about it? So
Mhm.
looking after all that, I had applied.
And what was the selection process like?
Yeah, you just have to send your one-page CV. It depends based on your externship interest also, no? So if you applied
Mhm.
for certain ICMR projects, also will give an 2 months externship in writing and making some systematic reviews and all. So it depends on where you're applying. So for my externship program, I just had to send my CV and they'll ask you in interview process to select because at a time they would only take 4 to 5 candidates for 2 months because they want to train you in depth.
Mhm.
That's the whole intention. So they'll not select at once 10 to 15 students. So we will be asked a few questions and based on that we will be selected.
Mhm. When we are in fifth year and we are still relatively not, we don't have as much exposure to the clinical setting. I mean, except for the ward rounds.
Yeah.
So how can we prepare for the, like, at least mentally prepare for the externship, as in, you know,
Okay.
hmm.
So basically, if you want to look for a clinical pharmacist, you need to have a thorough knowledge in pharmacology and therapeutics, those two subjects. So I would say our PharmD course is defined in such a way that all the subjects are included and all the areas are included. So you have to find out exactly what are you interested in and make sure you have thorough knowledge in that, and then apply for an externship. First you list out what are the opportunities you can opt for as an intern. They will not select you for a positions, right? Research associate or a research, basically an intern. So you will get a hands-on training on small projects. How do you document? How do you, if you get into clinical research side, they'll teach you how do you document, how do you write an SOPs, protocols, abstracts, etc. So mentally getting prepared for all this is the strong determination and discipline, I would say. I would always prefer a consistent work rather than overnight work. It always be consistent work, right? That
Yes, ma'am.
pushes you towards the interest.
Thank you so much for such a detailed answer. I'm sure now everyone knows what an externship is, how to apply for one, and how to prepare for it. Let's move on to the next question. I wanted to ask you about the Ratan Tata Scholarship. So you
Okay.
received it 3 times under merit list. So
Yes.
you're very well versed with how the scholarship works. Can you please tell us a little about the scholarship and the impact it had on your academic and professional journey?
Okay. So after my first year, when the results were out, the institute itself was informing us about the scholarship application process and all. We'll have lot of other scholarships, but this one, I felt all the documents were matching towards my, the criteria was matching towards my thing. So it was asking for a merit list. So initially it was around 75 to 80%, but later on, after my first year and second year, they had increased the merit list criteria too. So just see whether you fit into all the things, and they'll ask a lot many documents to be uploaded, the bank details, the salaries of parents, everything. So once you upload all these documents, they'll select based on your merit actually. And getting this scholarship is actually a rewarding. You will feel like motivated, you will feel your efforts have been recognized, and somewhere you can utilize those for your expenses. Not fully might be, but partially it will be helpful for your expenses.
I've heard that besides being an accomplished researcher, you're also quite the artist. Could you share a bit about your passion for art, ma'am?
My art, it brings me peace basically. And rather than playing with colors, I love to be with pencil arts because I don't mess with my all table and all and later on to clean. So whenever I get time, I just spend my time with sketching. It gives me peace and relaxing. Yeah.
Your artworks are beautiful. I hope
Thank
everyone's
you.
looking at
Thank
them.
you so much.
There's a slideshow playing right now.
Okay. Yeah, I could see the slideshow as well.
So even in your art, you're very effective as to reduce mess.
No, I was doing it by childhood itself, from my childhood. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'm curious to hear about your vision for the future, ma'am, in research. How do you envision your future in research?
So right now I'm into my PhD, and after my PhD, if you ask me, I would like to be an independent. I would write and research proposal on my own in my area of interest that I have pursued my PhD and worked for projects. And I'm sure by the time I finish my PhD, I would find many more gaps which I could address. So I'll try to write some proposals for funding agencies on my own. If not, again, I'll try to work in any other funding projects, or maybe I would see for any other higher education more. Yeah.
What made you choose oncology as your for your externship?
Yeah, because I wanted to pursue my PhD in oncology, basically. Because right now, if you see into literature, everything involves like cancer, and there is so many cancers growing around the world, the India population. Many of the prevalence rate is quite high. So
Mm-hmm.
anything you pick up into oncology will work out, I felt. So I just wanted to have an exposure to oncology specific externship program, because they will also teach you clinical pharmacist or a pharmd graduate can also perform drug reconstitutions for oncology patients, the administration, the admixtures of these drugs, chemo drugs. So I wanted to have the skills or hands-on training on all that.
I'm sure you mentioned it, but I'd still like to ask again. What was the area of PhD? What is the area of your PhD department
It's
or
the
area?
same Department of Infectious Disease, and
Infectious
I'm
diseases.
working for again a stewardship only in my PhD.
Okay. Based on your experience, what advice would you give to students who are just starting off in their research journey?
Okay. Yeah, reading helps a lot. If you're a PharmD,
Mm-hmm.
literature review helps a lot, and being consistent and keep going every day. Just push yourself. There will be days where you may not give a fruitful outputs, but some days will be again a worth of that work. So keep going, keep reading, and always look for an opportunity. Do not settle where you are. Like come out of your comfort zone, I would say.
Okay. And what advice would you give to your younger self starting
My
out in the career?
youngest side, yeah, work life balance, definitely. And then, yeah, look for opportunities, and that's it.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, Now, this is like specific advice for pharmacy students or researchers who want to pursue a field like nephrology, infectious diseases, pharmacoeconomics, or such particular ones, specific ones.
Okay. So rather than a general areas, if you pick up a specialized areas like nephrology or any other pediatrics or oncology,
Mm-hmm.
this will give you a vast area of exposure. Whatever you can do in general area, you can also do it in specialized research, right? And
Yes.
this will have more impact, I would say. So again, it depends on interest of that particular individual, whether they are interested in psychiatry, whether they are interested in cardiology. Whatever area you pick up, make sure you're having a sound knowledge about it. That I would say.
So you're suggesting going for broader topics. That way we can
Yeah.
narrow down in the
That
future.
you can, the research gaps also you can address through conferences or seminars. Try to attend as many as you can of your
Mm-hmm.
area of interest, so you will be having better knowledge and updated knowledge, I would say.
Mm-hmm. How do you choose journals when you want to publish a research paper? What is your process?
Yeah, I look for a journals which will publish my area of topic,
Mm-hmm.
whether it covers or not. Then whether it is Scoopers, Web of Science, and reputed journal, whether
Mm-hmm.
it have good impact factor and site score.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not aiming something high, but yeah, I would start from the very basic level, I would say. Yeah.
As we wrap up our conversation, what three pieces of advice? I feel like this is the same question, but maybe you might have something you want to say. Three pieces of advice you would give to someone who wants to make a difference in healthcare and research, just like you have.
Uh, Healthcare and research, I would not say, but yeah, for a PharmD
Mm-hmm.
student or a graduate, from the very first year or a second year, start learning, keep updated, and look for all the opportunities. I don't say that only research is a good field or teaching is a good field. even clinical pharmacist, clinical pharmacologist, every opportunity. We pharmdies have lot of opportunities, but there are again so many misconceptions that pharmdies are not get paid well, and they always have to pursue masters abroad, which is totally wrong, I feel. You have so many opportunities open compared to B Farm and M Farm graduates, I would say, personally. So just explore and just keep learning. And then once you're into, if you're interested into research, start slowly. Like, don't wait for after fifth year or after sixth year. The skills are always developed gradually, I feel. So from fourth year, fifth year, as you do your projects, as you do your internships, you have to build that character or that skill within yourself. The way of looking at a case, just not collecting the case or writing the drugs and all. Just see whether why that drug has been prescribed, what is an impact, what are the adverse effects, whether you can change the therapy. So all this will help you to choose which field you are better. And don't settle once you're into teaching or once you're into research, don't limit yourself to that particular role. You can always look for something ahead that helps you keep growing, I feel.
I did say that was the last question, but I have one more. Since you have worked with so many different professionals from different backgrounds, like bachelors in science and other qualifications, as well as PharmDs. So, do you ever come across like PharmDs and you think that this is either lacking or maybe specifically in PharmDs that they could improve, like area knowledge wise or anything else?
Yeah, definitely knowledge wise, because we have to be, I mean, our syllabus involves lot of vast topics and nothing
Mm-hmm.
in detail again. It's an
Mm-hmm.
overview again of everything. So once you are into a particular field or a particular area, you have to make sure you have more knowledge about that. So the initial days will be more hectic and tedious. It involves lot of blend of various activities, reading and then doing your basic work every day. But once you have basic knowledge well, you will be able to address them well, the problem solving. So
Mm-hmm.
then I don't think nobody will look down for a family once you prove them that you're capable enough.
Mm-hmm. So there is no stopping you as long as you read
Yes.
and are passionate about what you do and are honest in your way of working. Right, ma'am?
Yeah, you should have good work ethics.
Good work ethics. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for such detailed and elaborate answers. I'm
Thank
sure it was very valuable for everyone listening. We have
Yeah.
now reached the question and answer portion of the session. You
Okay.
may ask questions you have. This is for the audience. You guys may ask any questions you may have by either typing them in the chat box or unmuting yourself to speak. Okay, just a second.
Aisa, please open your mic.
Okay, yes, open this sir. Someone is asking, what exam do we have to write? Can you specify Anis Masarrat? Which exam are you talking about? Okay, someone else asked, which exam will you give before PhD, ma'am?
Before PhD, in the
I
sense like
I think he's asking
for PhD
to get enrolled into a
into
PhD.
PhD. Okay. So as I said, so far it is institute specific exams, but I have heard that there would be a common entrance test for PhD hereafter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how far or when it will be implemented. So far it is institute specific. So for various institute, there will be different question and scoring pattern. Some will have negative marking, some may not have negative marking.
Mm-hmm.
And it will involve again the basic knowledge testing from 12th standard till your family, all the basic concepts. The questions will be based on basics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another question we have from Shruti Jha is, what are our roles in the externship?
Roles as an externship, you will be not given a fully exposure, but you can get a partial overview of what role you're choosing based on your interest. Suppose you choose an MNC and go there and as intern, you will be given small abstract writing or protocol writing and how to maintain the documentation and making of data collection performa, etc. But when you come for a clinical pharmacist, again a ward rounds, some oncology settings as in drug reconstitutions, and if you look for any other writing, manuscript writing skills, etc., data entry.
Okay, so easy task.
Yes, easy
But-
task. I mean, they slowly make you get into that field.
Okay.
By
feel
the
like
end
the
of
real-
your externship, you'll be able to have a certain knowledge about that. Whether if you join as the working staff over there, how would you manage it? You will have an overview of it. Yeah.
Okay. Someone's already started networking and wants to know if they can get your email address.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not understanding where should I drop my email address. I'm not able to
I
see
think
the
we have
chat.
kept her LinkedIn ID. We have kept her LinkedIn ID, so you guys can connect with her on LinkedIn directly.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Vandana has the question, is the internship paid? I think she's talking about the 6th year internship. Externship.
5th year internship, yeah, my college had paid me, but many colleges or other colleges may not have paid internship, I suppose. Am I right?
Yeah, our college doesn't have a paid internship.
Yeah. Some colleges do pay for an interns, yeah.
No, I think for family internship, I don't know, but even Manipal does not pay for the family interns.
I'm coming from KLE College of Pharmacy, and we have been paid for our internship, yeah.
But they don't charge even for internship in Manipal. They don't charge for the internship as well. There is no fee for internship, so they charge only for 5 years.
Okay. Then I think it's the same. If you don't have to pay for an internship, yeah.
Harvinder has a question. Any advice for B Pharms and pharmacy students also, please? I mean, you might have met B Pharmacy professionals, so you have any advice?
B Pharm, if you're only bachelors, I think you'll have an industrial opportunities, I suppose, or else you have to go for masters based on your grades and your interest again. And yeah, industrial opportunities would be better, I feel.
I'll add to this. If you would like to come to the research, then definitely you can join as the CRC or clinical research assistant or the clinical research coordinator. And you can come to the research also, a little long journey than the PharmD, but you can definitely come to the research field as well as the CRC or clinical research assistant, and then you can upgrade to the clinical research associate in a few years, 1 or 2.
Yes.
Vijay Vemuluri is asking, ma'am, tell something about fellowships in our country.
Fellowships are for short duration, unlike any other PhDs or 1 or 2 years. And again, fellowships are usually taken by, I think, clinical pharmacists or those who want to have a better knowledge about their area of interest. So usually clinical pharmacists will take up fellowships, I suppose. I'm not sure about this question because I have not come across for fellowships and that was not my idea.
There are many fellowships. Okay. I think your department also is providing 1-year fellowship in infectious diseases, right?
Yes, recently they are starting.
Recently they have started, and the JSS is already having the fellowship in oncology, 2 years fellowship. That's for a long time, and now HCG also has started in oncology. Tata also has in oncology. Parul University has in cardiology and pharmacotherapy. There is one institute in Jharkhand that also provides in pharmacotherapy 1-year fellowship. So yes, you guys can explore that, but there are very limited seats, like 1 or 2. Okay, in the fellowship there are only 1 or 2 seats, as Manipal takes only 1, I believe. I'm not sure. And KLE, this JSS University, they take only 2 for the fellowships in oncology. Even HCG takes only 2, Tata takes only 1, and that is very competitive. Even MDs can go for that fellowship. That is for MDs and PharmDs. So it is very competitive. Like who will get, who will not get, depends. And there, even the stipend is very, very high. Tata pays 1 lakh per month. So it's totally, your competency, how much you know about the subject and how you can crack the interview. But yes, fellowships are there in India, very limited, but yes, it is.
We have a very nice question from Megha. Ma'am, do we need any courses? Do we need to do any courses? If any, what are those? I feel like all PharmD students are curious about that. And what are the skills we need to develop? Does medical coding help in research?
Okay, courses like into research, if you want like GCP training courses, and Coursera offers many other courses for writing specifically, manuscript writing and all. Then coming to some other ICMR courses also I have come across. We can do it online as well as offline as an externship. Then what was the second part of the question? Like,
Does medical coding help in research?
medical coding, I'm not sure about that medical coding.
No,
To
it won't
research,
help. It won't
I
help.
don't think so.
Medical coding is different. This is not the data
Yeah.
coding, guys. Medical
Yeah.
coding is different.
It's the desk
medical-
job I feel in an MNC.
Yes, ICD, you have to learn the ICDs. Okay.
Yes.
So ICD things will not work in the research. That is for the insurance companies, or that is for the medical, related companies. What works in the, billings and data coding. I mean, not the data coding, but the medical coding, exactly the bills coding, disease coding, and all. But not in the research. In research, you need the data coding and data cleaning, right? So
Yes.
medical not help in the research.
Does anyone have any questions they want to unmute themselves and ask? Or any more questions? Please type them in the chat box or unmute yourself.
I think no questions, Aisha.
Okay. Thank you for answering all of our questions, ma'am. Let's
There is a
move on.
question, I think, from Sehnaz. Can you see? Yeah.
Okay. How to initiate to be CRA and CRC after PharmD?
CRC, as I said, when there is an opening or an opportunity, you can just apply and get into it. CRC will be just again in a hospital, it is different, but usually a CRC will be helping in a data collection process. And then coming to CRA, he will be little bit of administrative work as well. You have to manage the entire project. And how to get into it is having a little bit of hands-on training, because my college has an site management office which offers 2 months of training during our internship itself as a CRC, how they do the data collection, how you can manage all this. Yeah.
We have another question from Shruti Jha and Kirtana. So one is asking, can we do an externship in psychiatry? And the other one is asking, can we do an externship in biostatistics?
Biostatistic, yes, but psychiatric, again, for what you are looking for, it really matters whether you want to learn about counseling, or that also matters, right? Simply, or you have any interest particular to psychiatric for other studies, higher studies, or what are you looking for after a PharmD? That would help in taking an externship probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to learn about the, clinical pharmacist related things, definitely psychiatry you can go for. You can learn for counseling, you can learn for the medication related problems, you can learn for prescription audits and everything. Definitely it is the area. But as he said, if you want to become the psychiatrist or the clinical psychologist, this is not the area for the externship, because you have to go for the higher education at all. Okay, and externship in biostatistics, you can do the course also. I mean, it's not necessary to go for externship, but you can take 3 months or 4 months time, and you can go for the biostatistics course. Certainly in SPSS and basics of biostatistics, that will help. Yeah.
Any more questions? Does anyone want to unmute themselves?
Guys, fill the form, everyone.
So Harshita is asking, ma'am, can we apply for externship in Manipal hospitals just through our CV?
I don't think there is a particular portal for externship application. So you have to get through a area of interest guide or a mentor whom you are looking for. And if they are agreeing or if they are interested to provide you that opportunity, maybe yes.
I will clarify this question. Manipal don't entertain any kind of externship, guys. I have tried many times for my students, but Manipal people, they don't entertain any kind of externship from, like, for the outsiders or for the insiders also to go out. Okay, they don't send their family people outside, and they don't entertain outsiders to the Manipal
No,
hospitals.
but right now I have seen current Farm Day 60 years is opting for an externship from Manipal. Yeah.
But
They're
I think where they're going.
to in Kerala some hospital. Yeah. I know they have
Because
been.
I have inquired with all the HRs, all the pharmacy practice department and all. They are like, we are restricted from the university not to take the outside students. Previously they used to take, I think 4 or 5 years back, but now they have stopped taking outsider students for the externship in the.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was saying. Like, if your area of interest matches with the guide or the mentor, maybe they would coming to KMC or any other institute. Maybe not exactly pharmacy practice.
yes. Okay. Other hospitals like Narayana and Fortis. There you can apply. I think Fortis, I'm not sure, because those hospitals I'm not aware of. But one more thing I want to add, guys. Yeah, Manipal, they don't. Manipal means the KMC Manipal, or the pharmacy practice department Manipal, they don't entertain. But I have another solutions for you. You can apply for the Manipal Hospitals Bangalore. They entertain the extension. Okay, because that is corporate hospital, and they charge some 10,000 rupees per month. But you can do the extensive there if you are willing to. Okay, guys, whoever is wishing to go for externship in Manipal hospitals Bangalore entertain the people from outside, but not the exactly KMC Manipal. And Manipal hospitals Delhi also, the Rohini Delhi also, they allow. So other centers of Manipal they allow, but not the Manipal. Okay,
So
I think we can
I
wind
guess,
up, Aisa. Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
guess we have
all.
no more questions. So let's move on to the note of thanks. Thank you, Deepti ma'am, on behalf of the entire CLIMAT team for joining us on this podcast today. Thank you for your time, engaging conversation, and willingness to share your knowledge. It has been a pleasure to learn more about your journey, to learn more about the ICMR program, the HCG Cancer in Hospital externship, as well as learning how we can progress in research as students. As we come to the end of today's webinar, I want to express my gratitude to each of you, our audience, for your active participation and thoughtful questions. Thank you once again to ma'am and all the participants for being a part of today's session. Thank you to sir too. Take care, and until next time, keep exploring.
Thank you, guys, and thank you,
so
Deepti,
much.
for being our guest today. And it was a wonderful session. I was throughout the session, so it was a really wonderful session, and you provided a lot of insights. The people are always curious and enthusiastic to come to Manipal, but it's not easy. And it is, in one way, it is easy if you are really enthusiastic, and if you are really into the research, and if you want to learn, and if you are learning, if you have a little experience and little enthusiasm, you can definitely come. You can apply. There are limited seats, but Definitely, PhD is one of the best thing at Manipal after PharmD if you want to do, because no one else in India right now provides such opportunities for the PhDs, guys.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. Thank you, Dr. Ajit. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, guys. Yes, you will get the recorded session. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a good day, guys.